Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about something that Carlos said very swiftly, and then he kind of told himself to shut up. It was like he was thinking out loud. So we're going to talk about that. Of course, as you can see, he went live tonight with Dr. Heavenly. The two of them go live every Monday evening to recap the latest episode of Married Huntsville, of the latest episode of Married to Medicine that aired the Sunday night before. So they were talking, and he actually says something that I found to be very interesting. It's not the normal thing that you would hear a producer of reality TV shows say, okay? Everyone experiences criticism or just straight up meanness from people, especially on social media. But this particular type of person, a network exec, to kind of come at Carlos, I found that to be interesting. All right. Now, before we get into a couple of sound bites, I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. Even if you hit the dislike button, it all works the same, meaning that YouTube will push this video through its algorithm, recommending it to more people who enjoy conversing about love and marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would love to have you. All right, now I'm going to be using sound bites from Carlos and Dr. Heavenly's live. So I have to say that the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed for criticism. All right, and I am repurposing them, of course. All right, so we're going to jump right on into the sound bite. I'm leading into Carlos talking about network execs, and then he quickly shuts himself up. Now, during this live, they were talking about a couple of people in particular, Toya and how she treats her husband, and her being mad at Dr. Heavenly for Dr. Heavenly saying that, Quad should come back to the show. And then also they're going to be talking about a Nigerian doctor, a male doctor, and his antiquated, chauvinistic opinions about women. So I'm setting the tone as for the conversation leading into Carlos King quickly mentioning a network execs. All right, so I'm going to play the first soundbite and then come back with my commentary.
About if you are mad about our opinion on what you showed us, you signed on to the reality show. You're showing us your life. If you are mad that we have an opinion based on what you're showing us, then get off the fucking show. I'm so annoyed with some reality stars who catch an attitude because people have an opinion. You think I get mad when people read me? I get read all the time. I take another chance and I keep it pushing. I get read by fans and reality stars and network executives. Let me shut up. Anyways, people say she'll never be happy, even if she went.
Okay, so right there at the end, Dr. Heavenly just went right back into talking about Toya. But he said he gets read by fans and I believe he said reality TV stars. And then he said network execs. That is not like your average thing that a producer of a TV show would say kind of checks them. I've never heard Andy Cohen say, oh yeah, the network execs over at NBC Universal, they check me. I've never heard Mona Scott Young say that, from the Love and Hip Hop franchise. I've never heard anyone else say that, just Carlos. Like he's been sitting in the naughty seat. I have a feeling that a lot of you just loyal millimeters who can type up a really good business letter, send some emails over to some people over at OWN. That would be my guess. Something definitely is happening for him to even say that. So he has definitely gotten some feedback. And then I find that to be so interesting that he had such harsh words for reality TV stars who do not like to take criticism. If you don't like what we're talking about you on, then get off the show because we're just commenting on what you say. Pot, meat, kettle, okay? because when, you know, people are in his live chats on his YouTube channel and they're saying, why don't the Scots truly show their reality? He'll say, oh, but I think they are. I think they are. He'll totally, you know, cape for them. And so I just find it so interesting that when it comes to another show, another network, he can be so forthcoming about how people need to show their reality or they need to be able to handle the criticisms. But it did cause him to kind of leak a little bit too much when he said he gets read by network executives. I think that that is very major because, again, not the average reality TV show producer just goes around saying that. But you all let me know in the comments what you think about that. I think that that is significant for sure. And then I want to talk about Dr. Heavenly. She actually shaded Martell tonight. It was very funny. Now, you know, Carlos and Dr. Heavenly, they definitely disagree on things. They do not agree on a lot of things, actually. And when it comes to Married to Medicine. And so as soon as Carlos says something that Dr. Heavenly doesn't like, you know, she is right there with a comeback. And this time, Martell could get it. So I'm going to play this soundbite and then come back with my commentary.
So you told me, Dr. Heavenly, we haven't seen all the, you know, Now, what I will say is I like him because, again, I don't watch TV to see regular people have regular conversations and sit there and smoke cigars and we don't see them at home with their wives in the kitchen. I don't like that. I like to see real conversations. So I like the fact that he was able to say, like, yo, in my culture, you know, women, they listen to what the man says, and that's how I am. I appreciated that level of conversation. Do I agree with it? No. But I appreciate any conversation where you're not afraid to tell your truth, which is why I appreciate Toya and Eugene's scenes, because when you watch their scenes, it's real. Right?
But I guess when we review a show, we don't talk about what we like. Well, maybe you do. But I'm saying we talk about what actually happens on the show. That's what a review of the show is. If we're going to produce the show and talk about the production of the show, that's a whole different channel. And I really don't want to do that. We're talking about what happened on the show. You see what I'm saying? So what did you think about the conversation he had about how
I just told you. I was telling you, but you were too busy reading text from your producers. So what I was saying was I actually...
I don't work like you. Listen, you might text your people, but I don't work like that.
Oh, I know. Clearly they go rogue. I don't text them.
They absolutely do. They go to prison. They go to jail all the time. But anyway. But I'm just saying, what did you think about that outside of the production of them giving something?
I wasn't talking about the production, so you weren't listening. I just said to you, I love the conversation when he talked about the fact that as a Nigerian man in his culture, they are the dominant ones and that the women are supposed to listen to them. I said that because that's what happened in the scene. I appreciated the scene. I like him a lot because he's vocal and he's honest. I don't agree with his point of view, but I appreciate the fact that he was able to be honest around these guys.
Okay. So in case you're not watching Married to Medicine, there is a newer couple, Dr. Alicia, and I can't think of her husband's name. I don't even care to know his name. He is so chauvinistic, old-fashioned, and really talks very little of women. He reminds you of a Marceau with a good job, okay? So Dr. Alicia, she comes off very mute and passive, because I think that's the type of woman that he requires. They have small children, 2 of them. Her youngest, like, she's still nursing, like they have little babies. And he said he feels like in America, you know, women, they run way too much. And, you know, men have to start taking things back, you know, and the American men, meaning Toya's husband, Dr. Eugene, Dr. Heavenly's husband, Dr. Damon, they were all sitting there in shock. And Dr. Eugene, after actually spoke up for women, and he said, women still don't make as much money as us men. They still don't get respected like they should. Women don't just have it easy. Thank you, Dr. Eugene. But anyway, as you saw, as you heard in Carlos's commentary, he propped out the jerk of the group. He did not even mention how Dr. Eugene spoke up for women, but he said that he appreciated Dr. Alicia's husband's honesty. So I'm guessing when someone has, I guess, the balls, if you will, to be so chauvinistic, that is something that, Carlos likes. But what I thought was interesting was, Carlos tried to shade Dr. Heavenly, and she was basically saying, well, the talent, we don't have to do all of that. We don't have to talk to production all the time. He was like yours, and he's like, oh yeah, mine go rogue. She goes, yeah, yours goes to prison. Totally shading Martell and his arrest nearly 2 weeks ago. So I do like the banter between Dr. Heavenly and Carlos. Carlos even made it a point to say that when they do go back and forth, they don't get offended. He wanted to make that clear, I guess, in case anyone gave some commentary that they feel away. And I do have to say, I do believe that. I don't think that they really get in their feelings. They probably perhaps talk after they end the live and say, I did not appreciate X, Y, and Z. But for the most part, I think that they're cool about it. But I just thought that was so funny that she shaded Martell. He must have really annoyed her tonight for Dr. Heavenly to go there, because, that we all saw where she was speaking up for Martell, saying that, he's never disrespected her, and she couldn't really speak on what has happened. Now she's making fun of him getting arrested. So I don't know if she's been watching some commentary and really has gotten a grip on what has happened, and now she's just letting it rip. Now, if you checked out my short that I did earlier this evening, I did find some information on an employer. If they are aware of a revenge P incident and they do nothing, they really position themselves to possibly get sued for discrimination, harassment, or other types of negligence lawsuits. And so I totally decided to look into that, to Google that after, hearing the audio from Carlos's podcast tour, which he kicked off in Huntsville with the beautiful Melody Cherie. And I just kind of feel like, although he's calling it a podcast tour, I think that in the grand scheme of things, it was to put it out there. Oh my gosh, Melody, I didn't know that you were going through so much. How? When you've been working with her for 6 years now, the show debuted in January of 2019, so they started filming in 2018. You've been working with her for 6 years. She pitched the show to you even longer ago than that. How could you not know what she's been dealing with and facing? You definitely stay on top of everything, Carlos. You even watch the bloggers that cover all of the Love and Marriage Huntsville news. So you knew what he tried to threaten her with in the summer of 2022. So don't try and play us. But he did. And so I just really kind of feel like he definitely did that show in Huntsville just to have some sort of document, AKA footage, AKA an episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, where he is sympathizing with her and saying that he did not know. And then couple that with what he said tonight about getting read by network execs, I feel like something seriously is definitely going on, especially with these revenge P charges and the network being made aware. So I think that Carlos is definitely feeling the heat. What do you all think? I think that this is all symbolic. Like, if you believe in symbolism, from Martell's post to the podcast tour and the things that he said that we know will be part of the episode, and that's footage, I feel like it's all a part of the grand scheme of things. And then now I'm sure Tasha is editing her interview with Martell to tailor whatever she was able to learn about the podcast show last night. I feel like it's all a part of some grand scheme to still try and protect Martell as much as he possibly can. All right. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your support. Please hit the like button on this video. It is a free way of supporting the channel, and then more people can find out about Show Style and Spirit. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe. I hope that your Monday was safe and pleasant. If it wasn't, I'm sorry to hear that, but the rest of the week will get better. Tomorrow will be a terrific Tuesday. If you are around snow and ice like me, be sure to stay safe, dress warm, make your ginger shots, all that. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.